Hello gamers, today we are going to be doing reading and literary analysis of my favourite fanfiction just in the world, which is titled Akutagawa is more likely to are women than Dazai. You'll have to excuse me, I am quite sick at the moment. So this is a Bungo Stray Dogs fanfiction. I am cropping my AO3 username out because my brother is subscribed to this YouTube channel and I don't want him to look at it. So first off, we've got graphic depictions of violence and rape / non-con, which is the title alone, of course, interesting start. Akutagawa is more likely to are women than Dazai. Now, judging from the context of this tag right here, we can assume that they mean rape. I don't know why they've just written the letter R instead of saying rape, but, so clearly this means that Akutagawa is more likely to rape women than Dazai. Now, this is Bungo Stray Dogs. This is a Bungo Stray Dogs fanfiction, and neither of these characters have ever been canonically confirmed or shown or implied to be rapists. So we can also assume, judging from this interesting claim being made, that this is a response to some kind of argument that the author, Dazai's crab, has had with someone. This appears, judging by the context of the actual series and the title and all of that, we can assume that this is being made in response to some kind of argument, which is also quite interesting. Now, Akutagawa Ryunosuke is a piece of shit. That is an interesting tag. As you can see, it's not capitalized, so this is a tag they've put there themselves that is not an actual tag on the site, which is again quite interesting. Chiya Nakahara would support his male rapist friends. Again, they're censoring the word rape. I don't know why they're doing this. AO3 allows you to say words. So judging by these censorings, I think we can also extrapolate that the writer probably is not an adult, because this is not how adults speak. I would assume maybe 14, 15. Again, interesting claim. In the original series, the character Chiya Nakahara has not been confirmed, implied, or shown to behave in any of this. I don't think that there is a single, recurring character in Bungo Stray Dogs that is canonically being shown to be a rapist. I don't think that the manga does not feature rape very much, or at all, really. So again, interesting claim to make. Certainly the character of Chiya has never been confirmed or anything to be a rapist or to support his male rapist friends. The specifying of male here was also interesting. It could mean nothing, but it's still interesting. This has been tagged soft Dazai, and Dazai also deserves the world. So given this title, we can assume that given this context, we can assume that this is somewhat a young person who has gotten into some kind of, I would guess, Twitter argument about about Dazai being a rapist, and now clearly they like Dazai and they have retaliated by writing this fanfiction. Additionally, also interesting context, this is part of a series that is titled Dazai Deserves Better and Not an Abuser Mid (Chiya), so I will give him better. So potentially, this might not even be about disliking Akutagawa. This might be part of an ongoing bias against Chuya, and Akutagawa is just catching he's just catching strays. So now we're gonna read this. We're gonna read this. Yeah, so this is all the tags. It's not tagged to be a college alternate universe, even though clearly it is, because none of the characters canonically are in college. So let's read this. Higuchi was tired. It had been a week since the night of the college party, the night she had been raped by her senior Akutagawa Ryunosuke. To find out that someone you looked up to turn out to be someone else breaks you. It fucks you up, messes your brain up. She first met him during orientation week. Dark, brooding aura surrounding him. He looked annoyed, but Higuchi didn't mind. He looked pretty, gorgeous. She could use all the words to describe him, really, but he didn't even notice her. That's okay, though. She'd make him notice her. Now, this does reflect on Higuchi's canonical behaviour. I'm really sick, so we're going to have to ignore my speaking mistakes. Her canonical behaviour within the series. Ironically, Higuchi behaves in a more rapey, I guess, way towards Akutagawa than he does to her, because she is very explicitly shown to have a crush on him. And to the point that in one of the books, she books them a hotel room because they go to an island on a mission. They are co-workers. They go to an island on a mission, and she books them a hotel with just one bed. And she tries repeatedly to pressure him into going back with her. And she does shit like that a lot. She's very blatant about the fact that she fancies him. So and let's continue. The party was a yearly tradition at the college, it seemed. Every year, whenever new students came in, the seniors would host a grand party for them. Akutagawa would obviously be there, so Higuchi thought this would be the best way to introduce herself to him. The party was huge, just like the people said. Higuchi wore a black dress. Now, she doesn't own that black dress anymore, considering what happened later on. It was nothing special anyways. A mid-length sheer dress with some diamonds on the top. Her mother had gifted Higuchi the dress. She doesn't even want to look at it anymore. Now, the grammar and spelling mistakes are not that big, but they're not very severe. So, judging by the typing, this does further support my theory that this is a relatively young person, maybe 14, 15, early teenagers, who has gotten into a Twitter argument and is making this as a retaliation. Anyway, let's go on. She approached Akutagawa, sitting alone at the bar, toying with his drink. He had the same annoyed look on his face on the day of orientation. He looked at her, his eyes uninterested. Still, Higuchi decided to shoot her shot, tucking her hair behind her ear, trying her hand at flirting. She greeted him, a meek hello. Also, this person is American. I don't know anywhere else that people say the word seniors in reference to schooling. Anyway, so this is an American. Which is not really relevant, but still interesting. Akutagawa grunted in response, clearly annoyed. She was a bit nervous now. Had she annoyed him? Was she too annoying? Excuse me. He looked up at her again, a weird smile on his face, and said, "Do you want to get out of here?" Now, this is extremely out of character for the character. He's very bad at socializing, and he does not give a fuck about romance unless it's with Atsushi. So, anyway, still interesting. Higuchi was taken aback. She couldn't possibly just leave. She had just arrived. She wanted to go meet her friends as well, Lucy, Guy, and Louisa, but his offer was tempting. Well, she could always meet her friends later, right? She wished she hadn't. She wished she had stayed behind. It's all her fault, isn't it? Excuse me. Akutagawa took her outside on his bike. He didn't offer her a helmet. That's okay, though. Maybe he lives nearby. It was a long drive. Higuchi held onto him tightly. Was he driving fast on purpose? No, it wouldn't be right to just accuse him of something like that. After the scary drive, Higuchi tries to play it off and make a vague joke about it. He doesn't respond, just gives her a blank stare and invites her in. Higuchi cringes. Fuck. That was my bad. I read that badly. Higuchi cringes. Maybe she'll make a better joke next time. No next time, please. As soon as they're in, Akutagawa doesn't hesitate to be all over her, starting with kissing her neck. Higuchi pushes him away. She's shocked, confused, scared, all of the above. This also is very out of character for Akutagawa. I don't think he's shown, like, intentionally physically touching another person that's not Atsushi. I'm trying to think of a time that he's been shown, like, intentionally touching another character. And the only one that's coming to mind is Atsushi. There is a CD of, like, when he goes to a bathhouse with Chuya, and Chuya, like, forces him to let him wash his hair, and that's about it. Again, quite out of character for Akutagawa. Regardless, let's go on. What are you doing, senpai? What the fuck? I thought you wanted it. Why else would you just accept to come to a dude who you've just met's home already? That's another thing. Akutagawa has never been shown canonically to invite anyone to his house. Also, he has never been shown to display any kind of romantic interest in any woman. Anyway. This is the first time she heard him even speak. He sounds angry. Senpai, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry, I have to go. Higuchi couldn't go. She didn't go home that day because Akutagawa grabbed her wrist so tightly. He pushed her on the sofa, his eyes mad with rage. You decided to come to my home. Now you'll also... Sorry. This is not... Excuse my unprofessionalism. You decided to come to my home. Now you'll also give me what I want. What? Higuchi didn't want this. He was touching her all over. She didn't like this. She didn't want this. She struggled. Akutagawa-senpai, please, let me go. Please stop. Stop. Please, please, please stop. He didn't stop. He kept doing it. He didn't listen to anything. No one was home. He was alone. No one could help her. The neighbors probably didn't hear anything. He just kept fucking doing it. And when it was over, Higuchi felt empty. She couldn't think, couldn't feel. She didn't know what to do. She was outside his house, walking aimlessly to wherever. On the way, she met Gin, her friend, Gin. They approached her with a big smile on their face, but as they got closer, she realized Higuchi wasn't well. She looked disheveled. She had bruises on her arms and legs. Does Gin know of the bruise over there? The place that hurts the most? The place the Akutagawa abused the most? Higuchi, are you okay? What happened? She broke down. She couldn't stop crying. She screamed. She hated it. She hated everything. Gin ran to her, hugged her. Higuchi doesn't remember anything else after that. So, again, very out of character. This is clearly a college AU though. Because the original characters in the series do not go to college. Also, this is very American. Interesting so far. Completely skipped over all of the actual rape scenes, which is fair. But also... yeah, I've got nothing else really to say on this except that Akutagawa would not behave in that. This is all very out of character, both for Higuchi and Akutagawa, because Higuchi has been shown to be quite aggressive and violent when she feels provoked, and also carries a handgun, or multiple, on her at all times. And she's also, like, been shown canonically to be very proficient in combat. So I think if any average fella tried to do anything to her, I think she would probably give him the beating of his life. Additionally, Akutagawa is very... in the source material, he is quite sick and chronically, possibly terminally ill. Canonically, he weighs like 50 kilos. I think a toddler could probably beat him. He is, okay, not a toddler, he is quite good at hand-to-hand combat, but I think if it came down to him versus Higuchi with no abilities or weapons, I think she would still fucking beat the shit out of him. Because he's good in hand-to-hand combat, he's not that good. Higuchi is better. Anyway. Very interesting. Interesting also that Gin, out of everyone, was the one that they have written as coming to help Higuchi, because Gin and Akutagawa canonically are siblings. Interesting juxtaposition. There, especially considering that there are other women in the series other than just Gin and Higuchi. But anyway, what else is interesting about this? Akutagawa does not own a motorcycle in the source material. But, you know, you can take some creative liberties with the vehicles, that's fair. But no, yeah, interesting. There's literally been no mention of Dazai yet, and we're nearly at the very end, which is so... which, you know, that is interesting, given that this whole argument is meant to be about how Akutagawa is more likely to rape women than Dazai. But anyway, let's finish this. Let's read the rest of this, and then we'll go over this and do some literary analysis. Higuchi tried to inform the college officials, but no one listened to her. She also later found out that Gin was Akutagawa's sibling. He had disowned her after she said she liked women. Excuse me. A male student, Atsushi, came forward recounting facing something similar with him, and many more students came up to her regarding him, but they never got justice. Higuchi didn't feel so alone then. Even when the whole college didn't listen to her, her class gossiped about her, she didn't feel alone. She now felt angry. She and those countless other students deserved justice. Akutagawa deserved to rot in jail for it. Excuse me. His friend group spread malicious rumours about her as well, particularly his best friend, a red-headed third year who always wore a hat. Lucy, her own friend, came forward about him too. She didn't do so sooner because she was so scared. She could warn Higuchi, but Higuchi was too reckless and too late to ever talk to her about him. Lucy tells her that it isn't her fault and that it's okay, but Higuchi can't help but feel like blaming herself. Until years later, finally when Higuchi was in her final year, her new teacher, Dazai sensei, joined the college. He helped. People listened to him. He was able to get enough evidence against Akutagawa to take him to court. Akutagawa was suspended. She never heard from him again. Another student, Yoshino, approached her in her final year. She came out about her own assault by someone else and how Sorry. And how Dazai Sensei too had helped her. Higuchi finally felt like she had healed. All of Akutagawa's victims did. Gin confessed to Higuchi she accepted she's now dating her for 3 years. In the end, Higuchi got peace and happiness. The fear and trauma isn't forever gone. It comes back every now and then, but she has Gin now, she has her friends, she's going to be okay. This is referring to Chia, because in canon he has red head and he's always wearing a hat. I don't understand what the point of bringing Yoshino in just to say that Dazai helped her after she was assaulted. I don't understand what the point of this was. But so apparently, according to this fanfiction, on top of being likely to rape women, Akutagawa also is homophobic, which is interesting for many reasons. Anyway, I digress. Now, Dazai is present. He's mentioned in 2 paragraphs. Also, the point... So the fic is titled Akutagawa is more likely to rape women than Dazai. But this is not set in the actual canonical universe, and it's all incredibly out of character, and none of this has ever happened. Nothing even remotely close. Now, look, I'm not laughing at the concept of rape, but what is happening there's not much to say here. Nobody in this fic would ever do this shit. This is the most out of character thing I've ever read in my life. This is also hilarious. I don't even know how to literally analyze this. Oh my god, there's 5. Okay, hang on. Let's. We need to look at these comments. Please, let me see these comments. Why won't you show me them? Anyway, I just realised that my username was visible now. I'm gonna have to edit that out. Fuck. Okay. Anyway, this is the most interesting fic that I've ever read in my life. I don't think there's anything else I can say about this. Yeah, I hope all of you have enjoyed reading this, my favourite fanfiction. Akutagawa is more likely to rape women than Dazai. Fuck, I need to go. I'm so sick.